Yo, welcome to another episode of Conversation, a segment part of Franklin Styles Official. And today's episode, the topic is what's next for South African streetwear. And I'm joined by Taylor and my boy Frank over here. So yeah, we're back with another episode. So today basically we're just gonna dissect South African streetwear, give our own opinions, just chop it up. And each one teach one, like they say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Taylor, my boy, what's your just thoughts on what's next for SA streetwear?
Well, in my personal opinion, I personally just feel like, with regards to streetwear, having seen that there's a lot of upcoming designers, and everyone is just always looking towards improving a specific idea or a specific approach on things, or rather just changing the narrative, by not sticking to what's normally done. And I think that's what's next, because I personally feel like we all live along the idea or the thought of just you can't change or impact the world by being exactly the same. So everybody's just trying to move in a different way.
That's true.
And redefining an element or an idea regarding streetwear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's solid. I just personally think what's next, just thinking off the top, more brands, bro, more people wearing these brands, It's for me, I just feel just looking back to what it was to now. Now I feel with SA streetwear, it's at a place where people are allowed to try it now. It's at a place where people are allowed to get into the industry and deliver. It's at a place where
it's just open for everybody.
Yeah, there's more opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I
mean, my thoughts about it, it's not far from what you both have said, so I'm just adding on to everything else. I'm probably just gonna conclude it for you guys. But basically, I guess what's next is just building more platforms, creating access, and from our last conversation, we're speaking about codes and just sharing codes and stuff like that. And I feel streetwear is an open market for the youth to actually should I say venture through and start their own brands. Yes, some are gonna fail along the way, but the fact that you attempted to start something just shows that you want to continue, and you see the value of the community, the industry as a whole, and just what streetwear has embarked for us as creatives and just anyone else who's really into it, So yeah, that's just basically it. And I think I'm excited to see the growth of it in South Africa. It's come a long way, obviously, but just now in the present time, I feel we still have so many other things to tackle and break down. But as time goes, I feel we'll be at a point where we okay, streetwear actually did open a lot of doors and opportunities for some of us. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming next.
If
anything, I feel it's more of a commercial way, and I don't mean that in more of a derogatory sense or whatsoever, but then I just think it's an easier path to take that allows for you to develop yourself and gives you more of an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
So speaking about opportunity and learning, do you think that opportunity to learn and express yourself, is it shown now in the SA streetwear, or was it always that? It's just has gotten better, or it's just only in the past 4 or 5 years that we see that impact, or rather change? Is it just now, or has it always been like that for SA streetwear?
In my opinion, I always feel like something has to start at like a lower point.
Yeah.
And there always has to be improvement. So yeah, I feel like and we talk about opportunity and learning, right?
Mhm.
I think that always has the ability to communicate itself, like it shows itself somehow.
Becoming a language.
Yeah, like it's a language, it shows itself, it communicates itself. Like you see it through most local creators that they get better at what they do every single time. I mean, I've always been taught that like you learn on the job, like you always learn on the job.
I mean, that's the new age shit.
Yeah.
It's like the street talk now.
You know what I mean?
Like,
And like talking about learning on the job, I feel like streetwear has like given people, well, for like speaking for myself, like it has given me like that opportunity to learn on the job. Like I've never been to like fashion school or like creative school, none of that.
But you still do have an idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I learned how to style on the job, you know, just because of like the streetwear culture.
Yeah.
Never mind the industry, but the culture, like how like 5-8 years back, bro, like I was at skate parks, you know, chilling with skaters, you know, like
that's where it resonates.
you know what I mean? Like I was at the skate park, you know, that culture, photography, photography, you know, Vans, you know, so you see that at the skate park and you see the culture, you know, how like skaters have like some sort of identity, you know, like that's where I first saw like a proper culture of like dress code, punctuality, participation, you know, talking, learning, communicating, connecting, all that. Like I saw that from like a skate park, and that's like the first exposure I got like into like the streetwear culture rather than the industry. You know what I mean? It's only like in the recent 5 years that I've said that I've seen the industry of like streetwear. For me, it was like first the culture that really impacted me, you know. Yeah, but like
I feel like it's something that it molds you. You know, it has to start from somewhere. In any case.
Yeah.
Because that's where like streetwear resonates. But this was like way back before me even born. Like I think when I was doing my research in New York, like it was founded. I forgot the guy's name. Sorry if you guys are gonna be upset, but you can do your own research. But like, I just forgot his name. But he was like a skater as well, if I'm not mistaken, and that's just how it started. You know, as a what should I say, like a community. So streetwear built up like that as a community, and then as time obviously went by, as well as generations were coming by, you got to see like your hip hop scenes being influenced by streetwear. You got to see I guess back in the 90s, it was more in the streets for like rappers, you know, big chains, baggy pants. Before, I would say Virgil kind of made it like that staple piece to say.
Put in like a modern
perspective.
Like I was just about to say,
because I mean, high-end brands,
modernized.
Like high-end brands really focused on like glamour, elegancy. You had to have like a certain look in order to fit a certain identity, you know. It was more about punctuality as well as like expensive taste, richness, you know. That was like how some brands, and then when Virgil came to like LV and how he just like brought streetwear as well, and the way he just infused both industries, it made streetwear as a culture grow.
More industry though.
Yeah. You know, it just made it way better for like the youth to like really want more of like your off-whites, because it looked way more glamour for them as well. You know, your LVs is now looking more street, but it's also high-end, you know, and like people can pull up. So coming back to just how like where it originated and how they managed to expand the industry and the market, I feel like we've had, I guess, I'm trying to find the word, but we've had like glimpse of like people who've came and given us like, I mean, we had the scientists that I think in 2015 they had like a campaign with Adidas, as well as Hypebeast was like following up on them and what they were doing. So if you guys want to check it out, you can check it out on YouTube. I think it's still there. So this was like 2015, I think, and it was like an Addy campaign. So I feel like, yeah, they also started the movement like locally by like, you know, bringing more people into it. And then you had like your Boys and Bucks who came through, made it a very localized identity.
Yeah.
And then we also had like brands, obviously, but it's not just what we see from like Johannesburg or Cape Town. There's literally like the Durban culture is also growing. You know, we've seen brands emerge like Refuse, just to name one. And also I feel like we need to give more people and just more ideas for the industry to grow here. Because yes, we do have the culture, but it's now about the industry growing and how we can like
I feel like it's always been an idea of just communicating, like
just go for it.
Just to communicate, bro. I just trying to pick up on like what you say, because I feel like you're just trying to say, just having the ability to communicate. Like recently, I've been feeling like it's always like something of just like gathering contact and just like always being able to reach out to someone so you could source a certain piece of information that you feel like you're missing. Because at the end of the day, you know, everyone's trying something, and like you don't always have all the answers, right? Like you're always looking for that piece of information, and I just feel like since we're talking about learning on the job, it's always that mentality of just like always trying to be, not even trying, but like the mentality of always being a student in like a workspace, be a creative space that allows for you to just like learn from like people that you're surrounded by. Reasons why I'm just saying I feel like it's the idea of just being surrounded by good people and also gathering the necessary context where you could possibly learn.
I mean, the great Nagel said it, man. He was like, and I'm just quoting him. He only works with people that he's interested to work with. So I feel like that's how you learn, is if you find the right people around you, you can grow your ideas, because then those people want to hear you and they want to listen to you and they want to seek more opportunities from you. And that's how streetwear can also like grow as a culture, or I mean industry rather, in SA. You know, but I mean, we are seeing more brands emerge. I think in the last 5 years, we can name a lot of brands.
That's true.
Even if we go back to like a decade, we've had I'ma Keep come through. It is a streetwear brand.
I was about to say,
if y'all think I'ma Keep Skotani or Kenny Kotani or Maputra, because they were rocking that, but it's in the street, so that's streetwear, you know. So,
but on that point, like you mentioned that, okay, streetwear from New York, this and that. Where do you think, like, for South Africa, where did like streetwear originate from?
I'm saying Braamfontein.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's also where I
feel like,
like, we might be wrong.
We have to tell the truth. I personally feel like it started there.
Bram.
That's the culture.
Because we had skaters in Bram.
100%. There was your parties. There was your link ups.
Yeah. That's where a lot of the people linked up there. Yeah.
I think there was like a store that they had where people would usually visit. I think it's the playground or something. I'm not sure. There was a certain shop that closed. I'm not quite sure where it was, but then there was just, you know, the collective that was usually found in Bram, and then I feel like everybody was just trying to like
be there,
catch up.
And I mean, also Keep has a store in Gandhi right now.
Yeah.
I once went there. I think like early this year.
Yeah.
It's a clean spot. They do. And I feel like for me, that's when I was exposed to like maybe like also like a streetwear brand at a young age.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it was. But it was same thing, okay. Keep. And it can trade, or we can travel South Africa, or everyone, but like,
you know, Rob,
no, I had like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying I looked down on it, but I was just like, yo.
I have like.
I'm gonna keep dollars and one.
Yeah, like that's what I like also, because like the movement has grown.
Maybe
so
like
much.
petroleum milk, yeah, but it's
petroleum
you know what I'm saying? I had that,
milk.
but not the
Karakara.
you get what I'm saying.
But like on that point, dog, like streetwear is so intense, bro. Like how it's gelling with like rappers, not rappers, but like the music industry.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the music industry without streetwear's culture and industry,
It's there.
it's not so it won't be where it is right now. Cause now you
Fashion, bro.
Cause right now you keep dollars. When back in the day it was what the petrol milk, Karakara, you know what I mean? It's like that shit's just coming to me right now. It's like damn.
I feel like everything that you're
these-
saying.
These
I'm gonna
brands,
keep us our V-loan, bro.
no cap, no cap.
Talking about our V-loan.
No lies, no
like
lies.
the Rose Bank?
No
Yeah,
lie.
I mean,
Like,
okay,
keep
I wouldn't say I
straight.
saw I'm gonna keep the Rose Bank, but they had a store, and I mean, I remember me and the boys, we saw MT there, and I think he had a collaboration with them at the time.
Yeah, he used to rock my keep.
You know, like we had your AKAs putting up with Amakipki, your Casp is like when hip hop acts were merging into like the scenes.
Streetwear brands were
Streetwear brands were coming in, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think Boys and Bugs gave us more identity.
True.
Yeah,
Like they gave us like
they gave the streets like the voice,
the voice, exactly. Like
especially like corporate industries.
and how to function and like
Yeah.
where to kind of find yourselves.
Yeah.
That's who we used to look up to, you know. Like we knew cutting on my sequels, like he used to pull up on my MX,
You know what I
come
mean?
with like different drops, bro.
And I mean,
You know?
I think he got a deal with Nike around that time. Eh?
I think so.
Not too sure.
But Kati was like the
Yeah.
runner of like Hip Boys and Bugs. At the
especially
time.
with the MX.
Yeah, so and then
We'll do the research. We'll find out with that.
Yeah, that will tell you.
but like just from that, bro, I feel like the culture was already
Yeah.
there. So your question saying, because in America, New York was like
Yeah, flap.
the upbringing of streetwear.
For South Africa.
South Africa's Bramfontein, and I guess the kids are still pushing that narrative. You know, it's still growing year in, year out.
Mhm.
Yeah, it might have had a dip at some point, but yo, that place is still jumpy. Yo,
Till today.
yeah, bro.
Till
And
today.
now, yes, Cape Town has come up as well.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen like some elegant brands that have pulled up from Cape Town. But like, if we like talking scenes, bro, we know that. I mean, we had Galax Boy as well. Forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, around about that time.
And they
I
made
think-
like a good comeback.
yeah, they did. They like, now I look at them as a Chanel because, and the reason why is that if you look at how Chanel is in America, it's not as accessible. It looks like it is.
Chanel.
I'm
Chanel.
with you.
Chanel.
Dog, it's like, it's not.
Yeah, like you got your own opinion.
I feel like from where I'm looking at the thing, like just the brand itself, like I feel like, or maybe it's not accessible here.
Man, thing is, nah.
But like,
I'm
not,
not.
yeah.
I don't want to speak bad on the brand. I've had like experience with the brand.
Galax Boy.
Yeah, like I don't want to like be talking them down and all that. I wouldn't say it's not accessible. It is, but I feel like they have to be like more punctual. You know, like in terms of like deliveries and all that. You know, I had like one bad experience with them, but like as in like second person. You know, so one of my friends went to like go collect like item from them, and it just took forever. You know, I feel like that's one
That's
thing.
the problem with most brands, or certain brands that I've encountered.
But
myself.
don't you think that's like an indication that we need more stores? You know,
We do, but we also need more people behind
yeah,
to work with these guys.
yeah,
We should bear in mind that some people are running brands single-handedly.
Yeah.
And they're expecting to know every single thing from like the business side to like just marketing,
Logistics.
you know,
and
and also like come through to the creative side. And it's like you need to build, even if you get one person per field, get one person from a business side, get one person from
the
the creative side and the logistics side, and then you can just like now know how to function your whole brand and the identity. All you have to do is just tell people that, look, this is where my brand is heading, and I would like for you to like reach that, push it, you know, You think your Negos were running Babe, one man? Nah, these people brought in creative directors. They build teams. Collaborations are important. 100%. And that's where streetwear needs to head out in South Africa. Is that you guys need to collaborate. You need to trust people. You need to trust the youth. I feel like those people are gonna buy your products and use your platforms to your advantage. You know what I mean? That's like where your CV is. But
another thing, talking about like social and platforms. What was I listening to? I think it was last night or like 2 nights before. I was like in that Twitter space, Joe Human, and then one of the ladies they spoke about like as creatives, we shouldn't always like depend on social media as like our portfolio or whatnot, because like what if like social media has like an apocalypse tomorrow? Then what? You know what I mean? So like back your stuff up, like you know what I mean? Back your stuff up. Have like a PDF or whatever other means of like presenting your work, presenting yourself on, I don't know, a website, PDF, just something else. Don't like
find the right media.
Don't depend too much on like social media, because that shit might die like anytime.
Yeah, I guess right now it's currently like in our faces.
Okay, fair.
So we believe that social media is the it factor. It is for certain groups, but like when we're talking about brands and like how they want to circulate certain ideas, that way is the best way.
Yeah.
Being in the streets is how you'll sell your brand. Look at.
I don't feel like.
I'm sorry, but like a lot of the references I have are based on like the American culture, because that's where it resonates.
I'm not to this.
But like for me to be able to stick to the topic, I need to think of like
reference
what I've grown up to and bring it back.
Do you really think the streets could sell it better than you sell it on social media though?
Definitely, bro. Social media, but scam. I
don't think so, dog. I disagree.
So you believe on social media you can sell?
There's better traction on social
media.
No,
but you can get more numbers. It's an engagement.
Better platform for publicity, dog. If you look into the insights of
but
social
is publicity
media,
selling the brand or not? Because look, man,
it could be selling and visualizing.
You see what I'm saying is that let's make examples. Before your Gucci's and stuff like that, were they selling on social media?
They were selling on Facebook.
Before that, bro, we were Facebook. But these
brands
are from the 70s.
I know that. I get your point. That they had the stores in the streets and shit.
There's like an advantage.
But how many, if you're looking, because now we're moving together with time, right? Everything's evolved with technology. People are lazy. Now we're all sitting on our phones and we're looking through social media to try.
But we're just looking. Some of us are looking, we're not buying.
Okay, but then that could convince you to still buy.
But listen, Taylor, listen.
But like, if you look at something and you like it, you're gonna buy it.
Okay, picture this, bro. Like you have a store, you have a social media platform, and then on the platform they advertising the clothes. Okay, there's a small, a large, whatever, you know what I mean. And like Frank said, these are streetwear brands. Let's bear in mind, these are not brands that have like partners or investors,
exactly, that's
pumping money. So listen, so if they have social media and they gain like good traction and they get like, let's say 50 plus orders in this month, when are they gonna deliver? You know what I mean?
When are they gonna deliver? But
and it's just one person. Bear in mind what Frank said. You know what I mean? They don't have like a big team. You know, let's just say it's 2 max. This is 2 max. You know, they still have to maintain the social media. They still have to make those 50 orders. You know what I mean? It's like some people get pissed if there's bad customer service. Imagine you make your order like now. It's the whatever day, 18, and then you only get your order in 2 months. November, September, you know what I mean? Already in your mind is like, you know what, fuck this brand, bro. Like, I've been waiting for this, I wanted to wear this, guy. You know what I mean? Nah, fuck these people, like, they slow, they don't know their job. It's like, man. Like, at the end of the day, I feel like brands also need to understand that your customer shouldn't feel like they're begging you. They're giving you money, bro. It's an exchange, you know. If I give you money, give me like good customer service.
What do you think it takes to get on the street?
If they had a store in the street, it's like I can literally try it on
to get onto the street.
I can try it on and take it home.
I understand what you're saying, 100%, yeah. But what do you think it takes to get onto the street?
And what it takes,
you need capital.
No, listen. Capital Gabon. Like picture everyone. They're hosting.
But they had capital.
Listen, they're hosting, but there's always a place to host. As a streetwear brand,
But it's not just given to them.
but listen, yeah, but I'm saying is they have host and they host on a regular. As a streetwear brand,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, yo, owners of Ebungandini, here's my merch. I'm trying to sell it at your spot, and I give you a cut of the sales that I make. I give you like 5%. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry,
You pull
Jay,
up to
we're
the-
just trying to get the people to party today. Then what are you doing?
Bro, I will stand in front of the door or something.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to say is that it's not that easy, bro. I feel like we could say it, yeah? We can say it, but then to live it is a different thing. Bro, it takes capital to get onto street. I feel like that's how, of course, bro, don't forget we're talking about your Gucci's, dog. Of course they have to
Never
start
mind
some-
Gucci.
Yo,
SS
I'm sorry.
Streetwear.
Okay, so for example, bro, we have like a clothing brand and we're trying to do this thing and we're trying to put it on street.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to manufacture the product still.
Okay.
We still have to pay for the manufacturing still. We still have to pay for the social media to try to get the product out.
Okay.
Where do you think we're getting the money to get the store for?
Okay. But like I'm saying, never mind the
But you don't
store.
need a
If you
store, bro.
if you put it on the streets, like what I'm saying, like pull up to these
I feel like you don't
parties.
need a store to be in
Pull
the
up to
streets,
these
bro.
parties, bro.
Not even parties, yeah.
I'm
That could
not
be an
saying-
option.
I'm not saying
It's
it
an
doesn't
option,
have
it's
a
an
positive
option.
impact. It
Yeah.
surely does. I mean, 2 or 3 people will buy the teas and that's it.
Exactly. But like you've seen, like there's pop-ups.
Yeah, 100%.
We are capitalizing from pop-ups.
Mm.
And I feel like if more people can say, hey,
Damn, we had this whole argument that we talking about pop-ups.
but like pop-ups are important.
Pop-ups are good.
And especially in
That's like getting it.
I mean, yeah, no, I agree with you if you're talking about the pop-up stores,
I
bro.
mean,
But
look at how
nobody's
many-
trying to have you rent that shit for free.
Yeah.
Niggas always want something.
Like
It's
I
not
said-
that easy. That's what I'm saying. It's always big about like how you communicate your product.
Like I said, it's important
Yeah.
to work with the right people so that you can communicate your idea, you know?
We've talked about like streetwear brands in SA just having like a physical appearance and a social, rather like.
I just feel like we need to agree
Appearance.
whether they have like an equal effect regarding
It's a balance, I guess.
For me, it's a balance, but as a customer, take yourself as a customer. Would you rather have the e-commerce side of it or the physical side of the streetwear brand and its culture and its upbringing?
I feel like the physical is much better.
Sebong.
Hey man, I'm still saying that social media still plays a role.
It does,
I
of course, especially now, dog. Especially now, like social media is something that.
I mean, how many people do you have ask you where you got that jacket?
Because I rock these in person. Nobody hits me up on
But when
IG.
you post that photo on social,
But they don't ask me though. They see because I've
Bro, I
tagged the
literally
brand.
saw your Twitter and they were like, that jacket, who's it by?
Oh,
Exactly, so what you saying? That's my point.
I mean, yeah, I don't read. I was
You know
into
what I'm
it.
saying?
But I mean, what I'm saying is, I pull up rocking like your Happy Meal, for instance, because I wear a lot of Happy Meal, you know what I mean? And it's one of the brands that I feel like I've grown to be familiar with, and people see me as, hey man, what you rocking there? When I tell them Happy Meal. But for me, I think that it's a balance, like I said, like we need that, you know, like we need that, and it's very important, like to have the balance, because without social media, you know, I guess there's nothing
I just feel like it
for us to do.
creates-
Yeah, social media creates like
It gives it hype, like, yeah, like, oh damn.
but like for brands, I feel like y'all still need to be in the streets, like vocally selling your brand like that. And you know, pop-ups are being implemented a lot. Like we went to the Swank and the WAF.
Yeah, well, WF.
Yeah. And you know, that was a dope pop-up, but the space was small,
Yeah, it was.
which was a bit cramped for me. But like the fact that there was something that was done,
Yeah.
that's good. And then I think there's been pop-ups held at Flux in Parkhurst, the Flux Archive or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like also like we need these street brands more in like stores.
I mean, the Tuwop is coming back because of social media, and like they've also gained like the e-commerce side of it, because obviously you need like that graphic design that's gonna, sell the identity and,
No, 100%. I just feel like as they come back, they tend to conform to certain ways that streetwear is developing itself now.
Exactly.
And that's the way that it markets.
Exactly. So the e-commerce side of it is important, So, yeah, man, I just think we've chopped that up. But I have a question for you guys. Do you think SA streetwear or streetwear in SA has peaked in popularity? So in terms of numbers or just engagements, and is it currently one of the biggest in South Africa?
I mean, it has peaked. It being the biggest, that's a tough one. But like in terms of like popularity gain, I mean, it has like reached like milestones. Like I've seen it grow, bro. Like day by day, like just like how we talked about petrol and milk and music videos. I'm like keep dead when AK and Anat was wearing it. And then Kabza the Small had a Happy Village jacket for Pretty Girls Love on My Piano. I think it was Pretty Girls, I'm not sure, but like he had that on his like official cover art, you know what I mean? So for me, that's like the popularity, like it's getting there, it's in people's faces, bro. It has grown, it has like been able to like defy all odds, you know what I mean, for me personally. In terms of it being the biggest, I don't know, man. I don't know, because if you look at like the high fashion side in South Africa, it's here, man. Tebe is working with Vogue, Rich showcasing in Italy, Ghana, you know what I mean? So it's like the high fashion right now also, it's at a pinnacle stage where I feel like we as South Africans have to like support our high fashion and the designers. Like we have to, bro, like look at like how Batu and Drip are right now. I don't know if they are streetwear brands like Batu and Drip, I'm not sure, but like
The sneakerheads will tell us,
but
they don't make clothing, so I think they're more like
footwear.
So,
but like I've seen like there's this road in Pretoria, dog. I don't know what that road is, but it's not far from the Pretoria station, Gauteng station. I think it's in Boston or something. I'm not sure. Like there's like a whole street, dog. Like there's a drip store, Batu store, drip store, Batu store. And I was like, fuck, that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's like a proper incline in South African market for like our businesses and all that,
And I guess that's what we'll do. But yeah,
you know what I mean? So in terms of like in that space, bro, I don't know if it's the biggest. Streetwear is the biggest socially. For me personally, I feel like socially it is the biggest. But in terms of like the physical brand standing on its own, we still need to see like a lot of improvement. Yeah.
I feel like there's still a lot to work on.
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't reached its peak yet. Like if anything, yes, we do have like the Tebes working with Vogue, your Riches as well, but then I just personally feel like there's still a lot to work on, because we can't speak on like two brands and say, yo, they've reached their peak.
What, in terms of high fashion or like streetwear?
High fashion.
High fashion, fair enough.
Because I mean,
high fashion.
who am I to say that they haven't reached their peak?
Because I feel like Tebe and Rich are more contemporary, focused fashion houses.
They have fashion.
Yeah, like it's contemporary. It's way more
sophisticated.
Yeah. Also, I feel like one that has like a bit of both though.
Yeah.
He's got street.
And he's got that high fashion.
And he's got that contemporary focus on him, that millennial identity, that aesthetic. So I feel like one that is also on the verge of kind of bringing streetwear to where it needs to be and merging it with high fashion in SA Because I feel like in terms of like your Riches and Tibbs, they're doing way more
high fashion.
What we spoke about, glamour, elegancy, target a specific market and stuff like that, which is okay. But I feel like when we're talking about the street, we're talking about everyone, you know what I mean? When we're talking about streetwear, we're talking about different groups, different identities coming up and being brought into one, and they are being pushed to reach that peak, you know. And I feel like it has, if we stick into streetwear and not looking at like where South African high fashion is, you know. If we just remove where South African high fashion is, streetwear is currently the biggest.
100%.
Because of we can name 10 brands from
the streetwear
culture,
and only a few in high fashion.
Only a few in high fashion, you know what I mean?
Shut up.
I just feel like it's hard for me to say that because, like, if you're saying peak, define what you mean when you say peak.
Peak, like,
did you say peak or popularity?
I said peak.
Okay.
I'll say the question again. Do you think streetwear in SA has peaked in popularity?
Oh, fair enough. Regarding popularity, dog, I think it would be sick if I saw someone's granddad rocking Happy Meal and they're like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that's when you know that now that shit's doing well in the market.
Yeah.
That's when you can say that's peak. But then who am I to say as well?
That's why I said one that adds both.
Yeah, I not completely understand that.
So, but like it's the South Africa's high fashion is there, right? But I mean, there's only like a few of us competing. But when we like I said, if we remove SA's high fashion and focus on literally streetwear in South Africa, the brands that are out there, the kids that are out there in the streets, we are out there. We are witnessing all of that all the time. I mean, we've attended so many pop-ups and we've seen like the growth and the communities that are built. I feel like what's missing is the engagement.
100%.
The communication.
Yeah, 100%.
Yo, this is the brand. I'm trying to do this 1, 2, 1, 2.
The story.
Can you find are you down to collaborate or collaborations as well? They are so limited, and I feel like they're important. You know, like Happyville had the Stimlo collaboration, Swankwaff. There's been like brands like
so many.
You know,
Crocs.
You know what I mean? So collaborations are very important, and I'm always going to reference back to like how Nigo went about collaborations. He grew off collaborations.
I feel like it's the cure.
Like, you know,
collaborations
are literally it. Yeezy wouldn't be Yeezy without Adidas. Don't kill me, guys. But I just feel like the idea that Kanye approached Yeezy with. In fact, Adidas wouldn't be Yeezy. I mean, Adidas wouldn't be Adidas without Yeezy.
And the fact, bro, like Adidas sales like online.
Yeah.
I'm not like too accurate, but I know like 80% of the sales online, Yeezy.
For real.
80%, yeah.
You can't say that and forget Nike, bro.
Okay.
I know that Kanye started off with Nike.
Okay. Yeah, he did. Red Toes.
Loud.
Like that's not the chat.
Yeah.
I feel like what's this? In terms of has streetwear peaked in South Africa? Indeed, it's peaked.
It's hard to say.
In terms of popularity.
Dog. I mean, how many kids are rocking Happyville? Remember when we went to Ibu Mandini? Was it the leather edition? How many kids pulled up rocking that blue Happyville jacket and the green one?
Just
Happyville in general. How many young
I
ones
mean,
pulled
if
up?
you can have like a couple niggas come do it.
I mean, you don't have to see 20 people rocking it.
I'm sorry, now we're not trying to make this Mr. Price or something.
Yeah. Also,
but there must be coming Mr. Price.
That's what I'm trying to say. And it would, like, I feel like I'd be wrong to say that happy.
It's honestly looked into our economy and how it's working out. So, and how many people are gonna buy a 1.5 jacket from a Happyville? 10 jackets are out there. Maybe 10 will sell, but let's say they're trying to sell 25. Are they gonna sell?
They will sell. Yeah, I believe in the boy.
I basically feel like we shouldn't commercialize most of our streetwear brands because it's really hard in this economy to really sell so much, and you know, you need so much, because I think a lot of our people are expecting to do it single-handedly, like I said. And I believe that, yes, if you can build a team, and guys, I feel like when you build a team with the right people who are in favor of the idea. True. If they like the idea, money will come after, because you already know that it is going to come. If you know in your mind that, yeah, I'm not making money now, but it's going to come, the income is going to start circulating, the capital is going to grow, then we can commercialize it and make it a Mr. Price.
But on that commercial scale chat, like, wouldn't you want to see like a Happy Meal become like a Supreme? Because Supreme got commercialized to reach the heights that it reached.
Exactly, dog. It's like,
but there's still like, because look, there's streetwear, there's high-end streetwear, and there's high-end fashion.
Okay, so where's Supreme?
Streetwear.
But they very commercial.
Yes, they're commercial because they are a global brand.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they've worked on the e-commerce side of things.
Like, you're telling me you're not trying to see how people sell in France?
Hopefully there are.
Then why don't you want to commercialize it?
Yeah, commercialize that.
Commercializing it. I'm saying...
Bro, no, we can't have like 2 buyers in front and say that's commercial.
Commercial, yeah.
Bro, 2 buyers.
That's 30 plus.
That's like, I feel like that's good, dog, because at the end of the day...
It's a startup.
Okay, is daily paper streetwear or not? Just to go to Amsterdam and come back to South Africa. It's still streetwear.
But because they just in collaboration, they look way more. They're still streetwear.
Yeah,
I don't see them
they are.
Because if they high end, they should be competing with brands.
They are streetwear. Because I'm even thinking about how I came to like discovering the brand. They are streetwear.
So and they've traveled through pop-ups.
Yeah. Do you know of any brand in Pretoria, like streetwear brand in Pretoria? If you're from Pretoria and you're streetwear,
like in the comments, please tell us about like streetwear brands in Pretoria.
And then just Northwest. I'm just trying to
get in the comments. Comment down below.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get an idea of how far like this.
Like if you guys know more brands, please do comment down and let us know so that we can just like have an identity.
But you know, people travel in and out and come more like to Joburg because they're looking for that market. Yeah.
But it's like most street brands that we know.
Cape Town, it's like Cape Town's standing up for itself, dog.
Cape Town, is doing well, and it's been doing well since 2015.
Broke, 100%. But broke. That's what I'm trying to say. He's standing up for themselves.
Yeah, Cape Town.
See, there's Broke as well.
Cape Town.
I don't know a lot of Cape Town brands, but I mean, I was speaking to.
There's this brand, called Meili. Yeah, it's called Meili.
Yeah, I've heard of that brand.
Yeah.
They solid brands. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think we need to push these brands that look like they're high end and they deserve to be like where your Riches and Tevez are. And then these like streetwear brands where they need to be on that high end streetwear surface level. I think that's the next step for us, is to be on that South African high end fashion / streetwear. You know what I mean?
What's your top 5 streetwear brands in South Africa?
Crazy. Because I feel like I always feel like it's not for me to say.
Top 5 is not rating. It's like you as a customer.
I understand
Tell
that.
them
100%.
as a customer,
But who am I to say it's
as a customer, bro. You're not talking in terms of like they're the best. Not as a customer, as someone who'll wake up and be like,
or you trying to give people an idea of
what brands are out there.
I'd say definitely number 1's gonna be Happy though, for sure. Yeah, we'll be Happy though. What else?
This is as a customer, guys.
Bear in mind, because I'm also thinking quality, production.
As a customer,
I don't know if Sonic would consider himself as like streetwear. But locally I'd also call like shit from Sonic. What else? Man, I just love supporting the family, so I like keeping it there. So yeah, I think for me that would be it, dog. I haven't shopped much anyway. But I know you have like, what's that?
Sativa.
Yeah, it's also sick. It's also sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's yours though? Even like Refuse, I think Refuse would also come.
For me,
as a customer, guys, you're not judging.
Yeah. For me, Refuse, Happyville, So Wear, Broke.
Broke is also sick.
I'd say, is it Souvenir?
But you know what? Sorry, Dr.
How do you pronounce it?
Souvenir.
Souvenir. Something like S-O-U. I think it's E or V, somewhere there.
How do you determine, like, don't you know sometimes these brands
Souvenir.
Souvenir.
The other brands, yeah. But like, they way more. Okay, there's thesis as well.
Okay. Nah, this is a sleep. But me as a customer, sorry, I won't with you. As a customer, but if you want me to work, I can work. But as a customer, nah. As a customer, I'm speaking as a customer right now. As someone who's like, hey, yo, where my money? I'm a spend. You know what I mean? As a customer, dog, I feel like these brands have their own target markets. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm
It's quite big.
Okay, yeah. Nah.
You're not the guy.
I'm not the target market. Like they portfolio they set up like okay target market. Me, I'm not included in there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
H.
You know when certain brands will speak to you, bro.
Like, what's your top one? What's your top one?
Judging.
I'm not judging.
What's your top one, bro?
What's your top one? Let's hear it.
Me, if I had to go buy, me, I love clothes, bro, and I love local shit. So it's like, right now, if I had a budget, like Fana Gatswara, Zamoreka, Diaparo, South Africa, obvious, Cassie Flavor, Happyville. I need that pink Happyville jacket, bro. No lie, I need that one. That one I must cop. Broke for sure, Friend of Sonic for sure.
100%.
Yo, I love Friend of Sonic stuff.
Sick stuff.
Yo, boy. Who else, boy?
So you've had like 3 brands?
There's 3. I don't know, I wonder for sure.
That's my challenge. It's like I'm struggling with
I'm
the
just
idea. Hear me.
Okay,
I'm just saying I struggle with the idea of like who am I to classify that brand and say it's streetwear? You get what I'm trying to say? Like it's hard like to say that yo streetwear like if you're like my number one go-to local brand, then I can be like yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like who am I? Like what if that's not the approach?
But I mean, as long as they have like an identity, because streetwear is an identity.
I also need a backyard shirt.
Yeah,
I need that.
But it's backyard
I need that.
brand.
It's a brand.
Check this guy German. I'm asking.
I need that
Look,
shirt.
I'm asking.
I need that shirt.
I'm allowed to
I
check.
that's needed.
But like, yeah, they've designed quite dope stuff.
Yeah, it's cute, boy.
But I mean, I guess that's the market. And who am I to say mans aren't allowed to do shirts? I mean, there's been a post that says you don't need to be a fashion designer to design t-shirts or whatever. You know, you don't need to study fashion to just do it. And who am I to say don't do it? And I feel like the approach is very conceptualized, and I like that. So I also would put them there. But like in terms of like what I need right now, you know, I'm looking at brands, and I think they're also good for giving platforms.
True.
I think they're amazing with that, like back in the backyard. They're very excellent in terms of like their strategy and like how they're approaching certain things. I think they're fantastic with that. So I'm a huge supporter of them. So yeah, books.
So like the reason why I even asked like at first I'm like, you know, Brandon like Pretoria, Northwest, and then I went on to ask like top 5 go-to as a customer.
Yeah.
As like I just wanted to get like an idea of like where these brands are located and how much of these brands we know and we associate ourselves with. You know what I mean?
A lot of them are located.
And a lot of them are in like Joburg, you know what I mean? And Cape Town. But Durban is just, it's just the refuse for now. That you
I mean, there's
mentioned.
more.
There
but
is,
I just don't know from like,
Dog, like you got your, I don't know what's the name? Can't pronounce it straight, but I think it's Narco, something like that. Never heard of it before. Narco, I can't pronounce it straight, but yeah, but some sick brand, like they make teas and caps and shit like that. Yeah. But
what else? Putin.
Durban, that's the only one I know in Durban.
Ah, fair.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like it was like Frank said, the publication.
Watermelon Social Club, bro?
Yeah, bro, I've had those guys hit me up on Twitter.
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I
think it's
Joburg.
I guess a lot of the brands are based in Joburg. And I guess
Yeah.
opportunity is in Joburg.
That's what I was trying to say, is that I feel like a lot of people leave where they're from just to come do something here in Joburg because the reception and the traction looks great here compared to most places.
Cape Town is like Los Angeles, Joburg is like New York. Pretty much.
Yeah,
That's enough.
That's like a very great way of putting it.
But not to sway from the point, like I just feel
Yeah,
like
of
the
course.
idea is to just like
Yeah.
because we're trying to communicate information, right? As people have had the ability to like experience most local streetwear,
Yeah.
or just local brands in general.
Yeah, that's how I even asked that. So like whoever's watching, like they can hear these brands that we talk about, and we're not just talking about like streetwear alone, and not like dropping names.
True.
Like we need to drop names so that like whoever's watching out there who doesn't know these brands and these people, they should like have like that information that actually in South Africa there's this and that, there's like a different variety of like everything. And I just love like how these streetwear brands that we've named have like their own identity. It's like so amazing to see like how many brands we have in streetwear market that like have their own identity and they associate themselves with their own market. You know what I mean? That's like a very like inspiring side. It's crazy, bro. It's not like they're all doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! I need to like correct my top 5. Not cause but like
just add on it, even if you can make it top 20.
Bro. Yeah, like I'm adding on swank on there, bro. Like their stuff is. There's also I forgot the brand though. But the swank, the one that make like a SA soccer jersey.
That's great.
Great, dog. It's great.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely falls in the top 5.
Yeah.
Oh, you're sure.
Like, hey man, there's actually like a great amount.
And they all have like, I feel like bro, like it's amazing to see like such originality, boy, coming from South Africa and these brands. Like,
true.
It's amazing.
I mean, look at
so
Happyville and the jacket that they made for Gaza with is it the animal print one?
Yeah, it's not.
It had the animal skin.
Yeah, the animal skin.
Yeah, like that was also dope as well.
And to think about it, it's like how many times is a streetwear brand able to do like one of one?
True.
Fair enough. And now they're doing that. I believe that jacket was a 101. I believe.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it anywhere.
I've seen another
Agent.
color.
Yeah, okay.
But
not that one. Then.
Not the green one that had like
the animal skin.
Yeah, I feel like 101s are important. I think also Sativa had like a fashion week earlier in the year, and they were showcasing their winter wear. I'm not sure if it was earlier in this year or last year, but I mean they had like proper 101 styles that they were showcasing, and that's fresh, bro. I feel like we also need to implement those. Just like my suggestion, right? If I was gonna have a pop-up, my pop-up would have models, and not just models, but my friends rocking my designs, so that whoever comes to that pop-up sees people already wearing it. Yeah. Because that way it sells. That way I'm convinced that this person that's rocking Frank's brand, they might not know me, or they might not know you guys. They're gonna think, you also just there to what's this? Check out the clothes, but you also wearing the clothes. Also create like a mini runway. You know what I mean? Have like models that can I think there was a brand that did it.
Yeah,
when Luke was modeling.
Luke, I was just about to say.
I forgot the name of the brand, but they was like a runway that was done at some university. And yeah, man, I feel like the more we can like bring those up, we be creating proper awareness of like how streetwear brands should be looked.
100%.
And I feel like it has peaked, and it's just getting there.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like it's taking the steps to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because there is a sense of evolution in like whatever's happening here in South Africa.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, yeah, that's what I personally think. But I wouldn't want to say it's reached its peak in popularity now, not yet.
So you don't think streetwear in South Africa is popular?
Not yet, or it's not at all.
Like it is popular to a certain extent, but to say that peak,
Like, what is popular to you? And
popular would be like.
because I mean, not everyone is rocking TV.
Dog, of course.
Not everyone's rocking Red.
Sure.
Not everyone's rocking Wanda.
You guys are trying to blackball me. This guy.
Okay, that's we scrapped that out, right?
Allow it.
Nah.
But like, the focal point is most of our brands aren't really worn because of our market is filled with a lot of international brands.
100%.
So
I was just about to ask
it's
you.
hard to occupy certain brands in stores because of that.
Yeah.
You know, because already you'll have maybe 50 stores afterwards.
Oh, wow.
You know, and if a streetwear brand or a person like Iwanda or whatever says, I want to walk in and have my own store, it's going to be hard. They'll have to open it somewhere in Braamfontein, like at a very small area that accommodates. Maybe, look, we are going to be surprised in the future, and we'll have more brands that will have their own stores. I believe so. I feel like the kids are going to make sure that we have stores, and I believe that if we can have like, I feel like some streetwear brands collaborate with like your factories and your cotton ons to kind of get their clothes out there.
But another thing, I was even gonna ask that now. It's like, bro, cotton on is it South African?
Do you mean like with regards to ideas?
No, like just having like the lion inside.
No, like just collaborate. Doesn't like.
Oh, but is cotton South African?
It's not. But I mean, what store is South African?
I don't know.
Sure.
Nah, boy, it's not, boy.
Nah,
boy. I doubt, boy. We'll do research, but nah, boy. I doubt, dog. I doubt cotton on South African.
I don't know.
Like, I also don't know. Like, I'm not too sure, boy.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
too
that's
sure.
the.
I feel like there's not enough retail. Because the sports scene South African. You see sports scene there? That one is another big case that needs to be tackled. But
I just feel like it would be sick if we found like a Fransonic tea in like sports scene.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
pull up sports scene, find Fransonic, find Happyville, you know what I mean? Because I mean, like, look at like, I think it's Barney's in America. They have like a lot of brands in there, where like they have your Supremes, they have your Off-White,
And those are the kind of stores that
you know what
need
I
to
mean?
be
But it's
established.
like a
So it's an Australian brand, but
Yeah, I didn't say
first
that.
opened its stores in South Africa 11 years ago. So
but it's
guys,
owned by
but
Australia.
I would say yes, it's owned by an Australian person,
But it's
I
not South
mean,
African.
It's South African. So meaning the people who are running these stores that cotton on are agencies that belong in South Africa.
But
Meaning those people.
not all the time, yeah.
Okay, not all
You'd
the
be
time.
surprised.
Not all the time, but I'm pretty sure they are like a mass majority.
Yeah,
of
there
people
is like
who someone can approach and be like, hey, you know what, guys? I'm in a board meeting and I think there's proper streetwear brands that are actually coming up. Let's have a collaboration with one of them.
Especially like the not the brand ambassadors, what do you call them again? I forgot, but brand something. They are the ones who like bring ideas to the table that, okay, let's collab with so and so.
So we need to ask ourselves who are on this board and who is doing it properly. Who is at the top of this board and what are they thinking about? Because we have these brands that are in the streets and they need the backing. We need to back up these brands. And it's quite important, bro. Yes, they can do like one-on-one collaborations with like, you know, a whatever store that
Or
they can
design
find,
or
or
whatever.
design. But like that's not gonna take them far, bro. It's just like a short-term idea that's gonna boom for like a couple of months, and then it sells out, or they probably don't even sell it. But it's important that places like Cotton On Factory, they should get these things. I mean, Sportsy. Sportsy, Red Bet,
Yeah, I think it's a South African.
Studio 88. Why don't you have brands in South Africa, bro?
Where
Come on.
You know that.
What's the other one? The other one is Studio 88 is
Archive. You see,
Huh?
Archive must have something.
But it's meant
They
to
must
have
have
that
some
one
gassy
little
flavor in
little
there.
some
boy.
gassy flavor,
They must
not
have
the-
something in there,
I feel
boy.
like
What else?
sick
What
of
else?
the
Like-
like those.
there's a Studio 88. There's another one that's like Studio 88, but it's not Studio 88.
There's one upstairs in Sandton. What they're selling, but I think they're only selling cakes there.
It's like Studio 8, but it's not Studio 8.
Like they look the same.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Guys, like we say, it's imperative now that we start seeing more streetwear brands in stores,
Yeah.
retail stores,
Yeah.
pop-ups, and everything. So like with the conversation that we had, like with everything, taking everything into considerations, you know, like what we've learned, whatever information
Yeah.
shared we've got, like what would each of you say, like what's actually next for like SA streetwear, or like where would you want to see SA streetwear take it from where it is now?
I mean, well,
Yeah.
so just say the question again.
So like where do you think SA streetwear is going, and where would you want to see it go from here?
Okay, so personally, I think SA streetwear is growing because if we look at the amount of brands that we have mentioned and identified from Johannesburg, you can tell that there is like a movement, and it's being more and more pushed, and now it's going to different states. We can see it in Cape Town. Cape Town and Joburg are like the voices, and then now we see Durban. It's also growing in terms of like their styles. I mean, in their streetwear brands, and I feel like the e-commerce side of it, it has pushed the narrative or the idea that your brand should be seen in a particular way so that it can grow. And we shouldn't forget that we had COVID, so
Yeah, facts.
life on social media became a mandatory thing, or like a very important figure, you know what I mean? So now that the country is more open, I feel like people should get back into being in the streets and not forget that that's how we panda, like indlela sikarisa ngayo. So being in the streets, just trying to sell that idea, just your clothes being seen, even though they're not buying. Yes, it's frustrating as a designer or owner of the brand, but consumers will end up consuming your brand at a later stage. But as long as it's out there, and you use the right strategies to market your brand and to get it out there, so I feel like it's very important that we shouldn't just stick to the e-commerce side of it. Yes, it is growing, but we need that tangible experience, you know what I mean? That's just gonna grow streetwear. And lastly, I think streetwear is gonna continue growing in South Africa.
True.
It's gonna continue growing, and where I see it, I see more of the youth empowering more of us as creatives to design more stuff, to see it everywhere, and it being commercialized. It's going to elevate, and the youth are the voices of most of everything that's happening in the industry. And streetwear as a culture, we've seen how it's grown and how it's come up, and as an industry, it needs the voices of the young ones, and the young ones can then give us hope to say, look, this is what we can do. This is the power of the brand because of the people. So I feel like streetwear is going to that direction, and I think we are believing more and more in the youth, and we are seeing a lot more brands capitalizing from that, and it's going to elevate and it's going to just galvanize the genre as a whole, So I think I'm content to see more doors opened, more about streetwear, local brands in retail stores, and I feel like I'm just gonna grow into the culture and the industry like I've always been. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, in my personal opinion, I genuinely think that there is like a certain set of elevation that I've seen from most streetwear brands. Most people start from t-shirts, people start with caps, and having seen people move into designing certain two-piece suits or a jacket, right, that contributes so much to society, and how it sparks so much interest in people who are really into the idea of trying to express streetwear in more of a commercial sense. And if anything, I just personally think that I see streetwear mostly in South Africa going to a greater place. Of course, we need to acknowledge the fact that creatives do go through highs and lows, in search of acceptance, in search of money, whilst they still face poverty, fighting insecurity, debt, and things like that, trying to ensure that the vision that they have for themselves does come to life. But I just believe that through the idea of just collaboration and communicating at a greater scale with regards to the ideas that we have, we could possibly all go somewhere. I feel it's one thing that I live for, is the idea of just trying to reinforce collaboration, because I feel it could cure so much for so many people. It has the ability to break barriers and open so many doors. And in general, I just feel streetwear really could go to a greater place just through collaboration, because that's what people need. They need the information, they need the opportunity. I feel it's so easy for people to quickly doubt someone without giving them the opportunity to actually try to prove themselves. And I just personally feel that's the approach, and that's a cure for most street brands at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Personally, I just feel with what we've shared and what I've gained from hearing you guys speak about the streetwear culture and industry in South Africa, I've learned a lot, and my perspective has changed. I see things in a different manner, and where I see the streetwear culture and industry going, let me just say in a couple of years, I just see more brands coming to life,
True.
The brands that are here touching greater heights, more people wearing these brands, more these brands becoming more accessible, I'd love to see more high school children wearing these brands, what I mean?
Engaging.
Yeah, dog, I'd love to see when I go into public spaces, someone, every time I see someone wearing a Cassie flavor shirt, in public spaces, I get inspired, or I gain this sense of joy, you know what I mean? This is what we want to see, this is what we're supposed to see on a daily. So I just feel where I see the streetwear culture and industry going with greater heights, where especially more people buying these brands being easy accessible, like being in stores. Cause bro, like in South Africa, like we get like tourists every single year from Jan to December. You know what I mean? And some of them don't like. They social media pages and everything is like directed to their market, to their interests, which is like abroad. So when they come this side, if we have like these brands tangible in stores, that's amazing, bro. You know what I mean? Because one thing I've noticed, like these tourists, when they come, they always want to buy something different. I mean, it's pretty useless for them to come and buy a Nike shirt, which they can buy that side. You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense. Like when they come, they usually want to buy like different stuff, stuff that they won't be able to find when they go back home. You know what I mean? So I just want to see the culture and the industry get to those heights. Get to heights where parents allow their children to go study fashion or like start off brands because of what they can see.
That's actually happening.
You know what I mean?
Like brands that are existing.
You know what I mean? Like,
so that's why, going back to the e-commerce side of things, that social media sometimes won't benefit everyone because
Frank just wants to play.
I'm just trying to make the point is that not all parents are on social media.
Yo, I know.
And look, we need more institutions to like implement that. Even in high schools, we need that.
Yeah, but I feel like the Department of Arts and Culture must
just realize,
most parents on TikTok these days. You understand?
How many brands are on TikTok?
Yo, we got somebody rocking a $1 photo shoot on TikTok, and that parent's like, damn, man, let's fly.
Which brand is that?
Hey, I won't say no names. But trust me though, I swear to God, I know.
Yeah, but honestly, I just want to see these brands bring more and more. I just want to see more people interact within these brands. Like that's what I want to see. But it's like how people don't find it like a bad thing to buy the same Puma shirt, Eddie shirt, like. Or Air Force One. People don't mind buying that.
And it should be like that.
It should be like that with these like local brands. Like, boy, if I'm finding interest in a leather jacket, I say Happyville. Now we're hungry 10. Now we talk. It's fresh.
It's like treat Happyville the same way you'd want to treat Zara.
You know what I mean? And it's like, bro, like these things are seasonal, and I feel like. That's if we give these brands that opportunity, then they're gonna start taking out the seasonal clothing.
True.
You know what I mean? They'll be able to like have access to change their clothing, the designs, the colorways, and all that because now the market is becoming broader and better.
And they are giving the backing.
You know what I mean? So I just honestly like, guys, let's like just support like these local streetwears and streetwear brands, and let's push the market. Like it's important for us as South Africans to have like our own identity and be proud in ourselves because
100%.
At the end of the day, if you're wearing like a Gucci or like a Nike, that's not your identity. You know what I mean? You're just doing that because first it's quality or whatever reason, but it's not South African and it's not really from where you from.
It's not helping or giving back in any sense, like to.
In a sense, it is giving back in terms of like the economy, like the hierarchy of the economy.
But my question is, would you rather see like some buy a shirt from like Gucci, and then it doesn't help the community?
What's that?
Like, would you rather buy a shirt right from Gucci and like not witness any change or growth from like some? Because I feel like a single purchase impacts so much.
Yeah.
It changes
also, we should
so much.
bear in mind who we're focusing on.
Yeah.
So we know that a lot of our people aren't going to buy into these brands, right? So it's important to focus on like, I feel like the youth, we are more important for these brands to succeed and to impact a lot of different avenues. And they can also find different ways of like improving and excelling in just every little thing that they want to do and pursue, you know what I mean? So like I said, the youth has a voice. Like you guys have a voice. We need to have so many designers out there who are being given opportunities. We need to have our own prizes and awards and competitions that are held in South Africa. Yes,
definitely.
the LVMH is the greatest platform, but like let
We
South
need our own
Africa
from
have
South
its
Africa.
own.
Yeah.
Let it grow its own so that more designers can get more funding and the exposure, you know what I mean? So it goes back to like the economy side of things and like the arts and culture side of our industry, or just in general, like pumping the money, excuse me, and believe in the kids, because I feel like we have more energy to buy these brands and to educate, so that other people can believe. And these brands are very accessible, guys, so don't let prices deceive you. It's a matter of just going with your gut feeling and just getting it done.
And it's quality, guys, trust. We always wear South African brands. I feel like amongst the three of us, we do have a number of South African brands that we wore, and it's on a regular. These clothes are quality, and trust me, they're worth every penny. So
create the spaces, create the awareness, and man, from our side, we just want y'all to believe in local streetwear and create all the spaces that you guys feel like you want to see it popping. If you feel like that's gonna pop for your brand or your idea, go for it, and you're gonna get the support. So yeah, man.
I feel but guys, before we close off with everything, first, if you're a local streetwear brand owner, comment below and tell us, let us know about your business. But it's always being a student of the game, so it's these conversations, I hope they insightful for everyone who's watching, in as much as they are for myself. And to the South African streetwear brands, just keep doing what you're doing, guys, because you're not doing it for yourself only. I just feel you bringing up the whole industry, from photographers, stylists, creative directors. You know what I mean? It's your point, collaboration.
It's all through collaboration.
You're not doing it for yourself only, guys. It's the whole mass of the creative side of South Africa that's depending on you guys. So let's all go and you know what I mean? Yeah. So episode 2, Conversations.
Comment, subscribe, and please do and comment.
Yeah, comment for sure.
But most importantly, subscribe to the channel, so the amount of views that we get, the same people that watch it, please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. It is very important to us, and we will keep growing. We'll keep bringing more episodes to you guys. And shout out to the F&S family and team.
We are.
Cheers.
And that's it.